Welcome everyone to tonight's team call. We are so excited to have Bonnie on our call, and she is making it work mobile, the way with the mobile device. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to share my screen and she's going to talk. So I have a few things before we are going to get right into Bonnie's awesomeness, and we're gonna get started. All right. There we go. All right, you guys can see this? Yes, nod your heads. Okay, awesome. I'm just going to make it nice and big. So if it doesn't fit your screen, feel free to scroll up to the top and hit that fit to screen window, and we will get started. So this is the beautiful Bonnie. She is a 2-star diamond coach. She's ranked 41st in the entire company, which is so amazing. And she is a Success Club All-Star, which is so awesome. All right, so we're going to talk about Success Club tonight, and Bonnie's going to kind of give us, the whole spiel about why it's so important and how you can grow your team with it. So I want to talk about our Success Club leaders this month. Oh my goodness, like you guys are just killing it. I am so proud of you. Special shout out, wow, can't talk tonight, to Cecilia, who is Mandy's mom. And I just love it. I love when people who we always think, well, we're not young or we're not into social media, and they just kill it because she's at SC8, which is so awesome. And everyone else who's almost there, I know you're going to get there by the end of the month. We have 14 people who are at SC2. So that's pretty awesome. And I know that there's still, a couple weeks left, and you guys are just going to do it because you're just all-stars, you're rock stars. And Bonnie's going to help you with that because she's going to tell you exactly how to do it. And now on to Miss Bonnie. This is a special tribute to Bonnie. When we were at the bombshell retreat, she basically grabbed her phone and she's like, "Hey, let's do the Bonnie face." And I don't know if everyone knew what the Bonnie face was, but everyone did it. So it was so awesome. And tonight, at the end of our call, you know how we always take our selfie, we're all going to do the Bonnie face to tribute Bonnie. And I'm going to go ahead and find you on the screen, Bonnie. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself, and Bonnie is going to get started.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that was such a warm welcome. Thank you so much. Can you guys just give me a head nod if you can hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, you can? Okay. So thank you so much for, number one, inviting me on this call. When you messaged me, I was like, wait, me? You want me to talk on the call? And secondly, I just want to say how cool our business is, because I'm sitting in the car right now in town with my husband. And I messaged Aaron earlier today and I was like, look, I'm still going to do your call, but I'm going to be on my phone because I made a commitment to him to try and spend more time together. So we kind of made a compromise tonight, and we're still going to be out and do things afterwards, but just for a short time, I'm going to be on the call to talk to you guys. So thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to be a little bit ghetto tonight. With my iPhone is propped up on my school bag right now, and we just had kind of a fiasco. Our car was smoking white smoke out of it, so we had to stop on the side of the highway, and now we're sitting in a rental car. So that's a pretty cool thing. I'm still running my business and all this is happening. So anyway, I'm going to dive right in because it is 7:10 already. So tonight I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Success Club, because I think that we get into this business, and as a newer coach, I don't know where anybody is in the business on this call, but it can be confusing, and it can be like you sign up and you see this SC everywhere and you're like, okay, why is everyone telling me to hit SC? What does it mean to my business? Why should I even be hitting it? And kind of why is it this milestone that everybody recognizes all the time and pushes for? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk about why it's important to use it in your business to tell yourself whether what you're doing is working or not. So a lot of business owners have to kind of figure out by themselves those benchmarks, like how, if something is working or if it's not working. But we're so lucky because we have this benchmark that was given to us. So I just want to talk to you guys about using it a little bit. About leading by example and then trickling that down throughout your team. I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I hit it and give you a couple examples. So let's get started. Why? No, that's good, Erin. You can go.
Okay.
This is total teamwork. I love it. So why Success Club? Number one, it's pretty much the benchmark for growth in your business. You could pretty much say, even if you were working 10 minutes a day, if you were hitting Success Club, what you're doing is working. And why is that the benchmark? Because A, each point is tied to a person. And if you're consistently bringing people into your business, whether it be, 5 points or 10 points, that's a consistent pipeline of people getting introduced to the products, getting introduced to the business side of things, getting introduced to you and your brand and the coolness that is challenge groups. And then it's results driven, right? So if I am having a bad month and I'm like, oh, all these people are saying no, everybody's ignoring my messages. That doesn't happen to anybody, right? And I just don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. Well, if I'm not at Success Club 5, then I can kind of look back at my messages and say, okay, what I'm doing might not be working. So let me tweak it a little bit and kind of use it as a measurable solution. So it kind of always answers the question, is this working? Is what I'm posting working? Are what I'm saying in my messages, is that getting across to people? Am I answering questions? About challenge packs is we can kind of almost guarantee results with a challenge pack. We have a little bit of a handle on at least one of the meals they're having every day, and we know that they're going to be doing the workout in the challenge group. So then from Success Club points, we have results to share. Not to mention the rewards. Hello. I mean, as soon as I got into the company, I was like seeing all these coaches on these boats and on these cruises and getting all these trip dollars. And I was like, man, just from getting a couple of people to do 21-day fix, I get all these rewards. So it's really cool that we have a company who recognizes that attached to people. And it's also a chance to share the business. So a really cool side of Success Club that we never really think of is I get a lot of new coaches that say to me, well, how do I market the business? I'm not successful yet. I haven't had those little wins yet. I haven't had this huge paycheck or left my job or any of this. If you hit Success Club, you have something to share. Let me tell you something. No one outside Beachbody knows what Success Club is. They don't know what you reaching Success Club 10 means. All they know is it's something cool and you're reaching milestones in your business. So you can use that to attract people to you. That's one of those small wins. And then lastly, why Success Club is because when people come to me and they say, okay, I really want to get fit. I want to start concentrating on my nutrition, but I also need to make that money back, which was my situation in the beginning. And I can honestly say that if you are hitting Success Club, forward financial movement. So when you sign up, whether you sign up with the $40 or the challenge pack, as long as you get to Success Club 5 in the first month, you will be even from that challenge pack. And that's how I can guarantee my new coaches hitting those financial rewards, which are so important. Okay, next slide. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about your teams hitting Success Club because it's great for us to consistently hit Success Club, but we are not doing ourselves or anyone else any favors if we don't communicate all of that to our team, to the coaches to the left and the right of us, to coaches that might be success partners that aren't on your team, to share what's working, share a conversation that went really well, share a post that all of a sudden got all this traction and brought people to you. And I think oftentimes when we first get in the business and we think, I hit Success Club 10, we're like, oh, I better not tell anybody about that special message that I sent, because then everybody will hit Success Club and it'll take it away from me. But when I really started to see Success Club momentum was when I was sharing all of that with everybody. And I'm reading this book called Entre Leadership by Dave Ramsey, which was actually a Success Club, I think it was a reward a couple months ago. But this quote really struck me. He says, whatever is happening at the head of the organization will affect the body. And that could not be more than 150% true in our business. You will find that when you start getting coaches and you start trying to teach them the business, you'll see the same weaknesses and the same strengths in them that are in you. So for example, wouldn't it be weird if I was doing this call on hitting Success Club, but I didn't hit Success Club? It'd be so weird for me to try to one-on-one mentor people when I'm not doing it myself. Now, I know that it can be like, sometimes you can be hearing that and being like, oh, well, I didn't hit Success Club. That's not a bad thing. That's a chance for you to say, oh, I didn't hit Success Club. Now what do I do differently? So in order to get there, these are the questions that I kind of ask myself throughout the month. Am I consistently adding value? And adding value means not just posting the easy stuff. So not just posting goofy pictures and the pictures of your Elsa shirt that you bought today, or like the funny stuff. It's really posting the meat, the questions that people have. So when you're in conversations and you have a month where everyone's saying no, they have a million objections, what I like to do is I like to write all those objections down and then do posts about them. So I'm answering everyone's objections without them asking me in a private message. If someone had that objection, odds are 5 other people have that objection. So you kind of want to reinforce those private conversations with a public post. That's where I have found the most success, because this magical thing starts to happen. People are watching you and they have these questions in their head, but they're not brave enough to go us and ask them. So it makes it so much easier for them if they can see it publicly and they think, oh, she's not saying that to me just to make a sale. It's actually the truth. Secondly, am I posting like being the kind of challenger coach that I wish to attract? And this one is difficult to swallow at first. It's something that I didn't pay attention to in the beginning. And because I thought, oh, I'm great, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I wasn't really consistent with things, but I wasn't willing to look to myself and say, am I being that person I'm telling other people to be? So for example, who has challenge groups that go dead? Like it's day 15 and you're the only one posting. It's awkward, right? And it's frustrating. But what I found was when I asked myself, okay, am I answering these assignments? Am I posting my workout selfie for the day? Am I saying that I drank Shakeology? No, I wasn't. And as soon as I started changing that and saying, okay, I need to be the one who forges forward. I need to be the one who's participating. I need to give a like or a comment that I would want to receive. And as soon as I changed that, crickets be gone. Like everybody was like, okay, Bonnie's in this, now I'm in it. And the same thing goes for your coaches. If you're saying, oh, I have these coaches and they just can't rank advance or they just can't hit Success Club, well, it's time to look at yourself, because this business has this weird, wonderful thing of being exactly who you are. And along with that, identifying weaknesses and being willing to work on it. So this business is really humbling in the fact that, we have to do personal development and we have to be willing to work on those things that might not be the best. And then, am I hitting Success Club while making it easy for my team to do so? So in the beginning, I would hit like Success Club 20 and then be so confused that I had no coaches who hit Success Club. And it's because I wasn't sharing anything. I was just saying, yeah, it's so easy. I do it. They can do it too. So really make sure you walk people through and make it easy for them. Okay, you can switch it, Erin. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys through a little bit of my process I start each month. So at the beginning of each month, and just to give you guys a little background, so I'm not just like telling you this and don't have the credibility. In January, I ended with 52 Success Club points, and in February, I have 37. So this works. It's what I do every month, and it works really well. So at the beginning of each month, I make 3 lists. I make a list of everybody from my friends list, of cold market people, people who are liking my posts, of people I think would be good in a challenge, of people I've met in a group. So basically a list of people I haven't talked to yet. And then I make a list of follow-ups. So all the people who said, not right now, I can't afford it, whatever their reason being, they said no. And then thirdly, I make a list of all my current challengers who either just finished a challenge or are about to finish a challenge. And I work directly from those lists every single month, and they always change. I'm not super organized. They're not like color coded or anything. It's just one book that I just write them down in. So it doesn't have to be this big scary thing. I am like the queen of disorganization, so it can be done without Excel spreadsheets. And then I have this sort of mentality switch. So for me, 10 times out of 10, well, we'll say 9.5 times out of 10, no one says yes to me on the first invite. That's just how it works. People, they need to see consistency. They need to be reached out again. So I don't view an initial invite as I'm going to sell a challenge pack today, or I'm going to get someone to join my challenge group today. And once I had mentality switch, everything changed. So I used to be a performer, and all week through dress rehearsals, the show would go amazing. I'd be like, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be the best show ever. You know, we had like the employee dress rehearsal, and there's no one sitting in the audience but the directors and stuff. But on opening night, it never failed. Every time the nerves came and you started to screw up the stupidest stuff that you wouldn't screw up the whole week of dress rehearsals, because that pressure's on you. And it's the same thing with messages. If you enter a message with the thought in your mind, I'm going to sell a challenge pack, and everything's riding on this message, and you're like, I just want to get to Success Club 10, people can feel that coming off of you. People can feel desperation. They can feel that. Think of it as a dress rehearsal. Okay, I know they're not going to say yes, so I'm going to try a couple new things out, and I'm going to switch it around a little bit and try to get to know them. All of my Success Club points come from a follow-up, not from an initial message. And then before you follow up, you have to do this thing where you're interested more than interesting. So you need to be interested in them. And what that means is go to their page, figure out what they're up to, comment on a couple pictures of theirs, send them a message about how they looked awesome at their wedding, or is that picture at the country club that you used to go on double dates with? Haha, like relate to them, comment a comment that you would like to have, make them like believe that you are actually interested in them. Because a lot of times people's number one fear, this person's just messaging me to sell me something. And it's our job to let them know that that's not the case. And it's difficult, but that's how you get it done. And there's 3 examples here. I'm not going to go through them, but I'll send these slides to Erin afterwards. These are actual messages that I sent this month, and they've all bought challenge packs. So this is just like the way I would say things to people. And I use my personality. I never follow scripts. I did in the beginning and copied and pasted my coach's scripts, and it just did not sound like me at all. So I would really recommend just trial and error. Don't be afraid of someone saying no. Someone says no, okay, see you in a month type thing. And then I work from those lists, and I typically do like 5 to 10 per day. But I do have a lot of coaches who don't do this full time, so they do about 3. And it's just a message. It's not, you know, anything superly expertly crafted. Okay, you can switch, Erin. Okay. And then step two, a little bit what I was talking about before is I I reinforce those initial invites with consistency on my page. So I'll look at my list of initial invites and new people that I've brought in, and I'll think to myself, okay, what do these people need to hear? What does my niche market need to hear in order to be able to know that this is real, that I am a real person, that this has affected my life too? So I try and write out those things that I think they would need to hear. And I make them into posts. Personality, I try to do that 3 to 5 times per day. And I'm sure you guys already know this, but this is a huge part of my process. So many times I have people message me saying, all right, I'm ready now. I saw that post you did the other day about staying home with your husband. That's totally my situation. And that's what I needed to hear. A lot of times I'll straight up ask them, what do you need to hear? What are you worried about? What is your hesitation? So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Think about what you guys had to hear from Erin or from another coach on your team to say, okay, I'm going to make this leap of faith, because it's frustrating for people. It's new and it's weird and it's kind of, no one knows what it is. So I have my 3 main social medias that I use. I use my business Facebook page, my personal page, and my blog, and sometimes I dabble in Instagram. So one thing that's really helpful is I cross post on everything, so I don't have to come up with a lot of content. I tailor the content to whatever outlet it is. So for example, if it's my business page, I try to make the text a little shorter. If it's my personal page, I leave it long. If it's Instagram, obviously I shorten it up way short and just make the picture a little brighter and more engaging. So I don't spend a ton of time on content. When I come up with it on one source, I post it on everything, because at the end of the day, people want to see consistency. Yeah, it would be great if I had the time to come up with something for Instagram and something for business and something for personal, but that's just not the case. Okay, you can switch, Erin. Okay, and step 3, the follow-up is where the money is. I cannot tell you, in the beginning of my business, I never followed up. And it was so hard. And I would get these people slipping through the cracks, and I would say, like, I'd be driving in my car and be like, oh my gosh, that girl Mary told me that she got paid on the 18th and it's the 25th, and I never followed up with her. People need you to hold their hand. People need you, even if they tell you, okay, I get my tax return back on the 22nd. I'm going to order then. It is your job to message them on the 22nd. Even if it's just, oh my gosh, it's the 22nd. How exciting. Your tax return's coming. Can't wait for you to sign up. Even if you already sent the link and they said they were going to do it. You need to be that extra step and take the initiative and make it easier for them. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear that you're still interested and not just that you're waiting on them for that. So a couple things to make the follow-up easier is I make lists and I put little dates next to the person. I don't write a ton. I just scroll back through my messages and I'll send them a quick little note. But before I do that, I always ask permission in the initial conversation. So if somebody says, you know what, not right now, like my husband just got laid off and we have all these bills and our heater just broke, I won't push it then. I'll say, okay, would you mind if I followed up with you next month? And maybe those things will be gone by then. That way they know to expect it. They know I'm not just re-messaging everyone in my inbox. And I told them I was gonna come back. So what that does for you is it gives you a clear-cut answer. If they say okay, then they are still interested. If they say no, great. You have washed your hands of that conversation and that's not for them. And that gives you a little bit of freedom, right? Because there is nothing worse than having someone who hems and haws over it for so long, and it kind of leaves you in a tough spot because you're always counting on that person for something. I also follow up several times. So I'm kind of a follow-up monster because I really believe that you have to catch someone at the right time of their life to be able to sign up. So, I mean, there's some of my coaches who just signed up who I've been talking to from the beginning, and I've been coaching for a year. It just all depends on where they are in their, you never know what's going on with them. You never know, like, they could have something huge going on. So always make sure you're that voice. Always make sure you stay in contact with them. And then I try to be sure that I add value that's not just Beachbody in my messages. So, for example, I don't know if any of you follow me on Facebook, but I found this sparkling water that all the Beachbody coaches talk about, but I never tried it before because I wasn't a soda person. And I tried it and I researched it and I was like, oh my God, I remember those 3 girls that I was talking to that said they had a soda addiction. So what I did when I found that was I messaged them all and I said, I just found this. You can get it in your grocery store. I thought of you immediately because you told me you can't go a day without soda. Maybe this could help you. And what that does is it lets those people know that you actually care. You remembered the conversation. You care about their health. You found something and thought of them. It solidifies that relationship. And it solidifies that, hey, I'm not just recommending something to you that I make a commission on. Like, this is a lifestyle I live and I like to help. So that is like, it really, really just seals the deal for you. Okay, Erin, you can click next. Okay, and then step number 4 is confidence. So if I sent you a voice message on Facebook and I was like, well, it kind of works, but I'm not really sure because I sort of tried it and maybe Shakeology kind of tastes good, but it also kind of doesn't taste good. So, I mean, some people get results, but I never really did. Would you guys say yes to that? No. But if I messaged you and I said, look, I know your situation. I know these products work. I know coaching has changed my life. This will help you. I am confident. And if it doesn't help you, we can figure something else out. Those 2 messages are the same exact thing, but a completely different tone. And why personal development is so important, because we need to have something filling our cup up when it's constantly being drained, right? So our no's and our objections and our not hitting this and not hitting that, it kind of like dwindles the water down in our cup. But when we read personal development, it gives us confidence. Then people can feel that in messages. They can feel that you believe in the products. Because look, we're all here for a reason. We all either had a transformation with the challenge group, have seen the products in our life, have seen it in other people's lives, or coaching has been translated into our lives. So you wouldn't be here if you didn't believe in it. Now, translate that into your conversations. Don't ever feel like you're not giving someone the very best of something. We have something awesome to offer. So talk like it, And then always remember people over points. And this helps me with confidence too, because when I think about points, it kind of gets me down. Like, Success Club points can kind of be like a scary thing sometimes, because you're like, I don't know if I'm going to hit 10, and then I wouldn't be this, and then it wouldn't be that. But I want you to think about points in a different way. So think about, if you have 10 points, that means you've helped 5 people. And I always try to remember that in the conversations. And I try to ask their goals first and not just jump right in and kind of vomit a link at them. And then if somebody does consistently say no, or give you objections, or maybe tell you that they don't have enough money, but then you see pictures of them like out to eat at dinner, that's like the most frustrating thing of my life. Never leave a conversation on a bad note, because people will always remember how you made them feel. They'll always remember that conversation. And you never, ever, ever want to have a bad taste in someone's mouth about you, especially when tied to this business. That's what gives network marketing a bad name. So it's kind of our job to always be the bright person, always be the bigger person. And then lastly, consistency is like the queen of this business. I cannot tell you. So in the beginning, for the first year, you feel like you are working like a dog, and you're like, I'm posting 3 times a day. I'm getting 4 likes. What the heck? What am I doing wrong? No one's responding. Everyone's saying no. Keep going. The only way you can fail in this business is to stop, or to think that those 4 likes are the only ones that you're ever going to get. So I recycled a post that I did in the beginning of my business for my team today. And it was a post that I came up on my Time Hop app, and it was a year ago today. And a year ago today, I got 2 likes, and today I got 104. And it was the same exact post, y'all, the same post. It just means that I built up a following. People know that I will post 3 to 5 times per day, will add value, and I will be there no matter what. So people need to see that. They need someone to be consistent for them. Okay, go ahead, Erin. I think I'm almost done. Okay, and then, so all of those tips are great, right? Like, we can put them to use for us and make lists and follow up and use those little tips and everything. But it doesn't do any good if we don't help our team, if we don't duplicate that. Because at the end of the day, I'm only one person, and I can't possibly sell all the challenge packs. So in order to make my reach bigger and my ripple effect bigger, my number one priority is teaching my team to hit Success Club as well. So you kind of want to have that river versus reservoir mentality, which I'm sure you guys have heard before, but I think that the image is really cool. You know, we always want our information to be flowing for everyone to have and not keep it in. In my corporate job, it was always, well, don't tell her because then she'll get the promotion over you. Or, you know, oh, don't tell Andy because she already has like all this above you and all this experience. So if you tell her what you're doing to be so good, then she'll win. It's not like that here. It's, if you help somebody else with a tip that you have, you're actually bringing more good to yourself. So throw that other mentality away. And how I do that is I share every little thing that works in the team page. If I have a message that all of a sudden worked, it's like, this worked, or try doing it this way, or try doing a giveaway, I did this and I got this many points. Try to be that person in a team page. I'm sure you have a team page, Erin. But try to be that person in a team page who's not just making noise, who's not just commenting on the easy stuff to comment on. Try to be that person that's adding value to the team and saying this works, and or even this didn't work. Like, let me tell you guys, I messaged 5 people and said this and it didn't work. That helps too. And then when you guys do have teams and you start to build them, you'll want them to hit Success Club every month. That will be a goal for you. And how I do that is a couple different ways. I offer rewards on top of what Beachbody has. And you have to, you know, be respectful to yourself and do what you can. Don't offer like, you know, a 30-day vacation or something, but something small, even a handwritten note, or something that just requires you to make a little effort to go to the post office. You know, people really respond to that, because you want to reward people for hitting those milestones too. Highlight recognition. Put a post up every Thursday where everyone's at and congratulate them for just having points on the board, or, you know, talking to people. Even if you don't have anybody who hit Success Club, say, you know what, guys, this is awesome. Let's do better next week. Talk to me if you need help. This is something really cool that I just started doing, and I'm calling it Success Club Pods. I don't know why, but everybody on my team who have 3 or 4 points, I group them together based on personality types, because I'm really into knowing like what motivates people. And I sent them a message saying, hey, you guys are really close to 4 Success Club points. If you work together in this little message group, and whoever hits it in the next week, I'm going to send you our team bracelet. We have team bracelets. And it was something really cool started happening. People who never shared before started sharing with each other in these little tiny groups. Because sometimes I think that we think everyone's comfortable in the big team page sharing that stuff, but they're not. You know, in those little safe pods, it's like an easier way to lean on each other and get examples. And then make Success Club a team thing. I did this really cool thing that's 81 points cumulative on the board. This month, we're going to double it. We're going to hit 361. And automatically, you know what that says to people? Oh my gosh, like we helped 90 some people this month as a team, and let's double our reach next month. And I said, who's going to contribute? And automatically just switch that mentality in their minds, oh, this is really about people. It's not just about me getting 10 and getting a book in the mail from Beachbody. And I always remember to be a coach, not a cheerleader. And this is hard, because in the beginning, when you get your challengers, you're like, yay, even though you ate 7 cookies today, you're still in my challenge group, and that's amazing. I used to do that all the time. I used to tell people it was okay if they skipped workouts or skipped trainings, and for anybody, because at the end of the day, people come to us, whether it be a coach or a challenger, they come to us to push them. They come to us because they don't have the accountability to push themselves. So never be afraid to do that for someone. Never feel like you're being too pushy. That is our job. That is our title. So even with your coaches or your teammates, or your success partners, I have to give mine a swift, slap across the face sometimes. Oh, you're not at success level? What are you doing? So sometimes, we got to call each other out. Okay, Erin, you can switch it.
We're done.
Oh, I'm done. Okay.
You're done. Do you have anything else that you want to add? I have a few questions for you, but if you want to close it out, that'd be good.
Yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing here. You know what? It's funny. First of all, I would be so scared to be your success partner, because I don't ever want to be slapped across the face, even though I'm hitting Success Club. But gotta say,
well, it's virtual. It's virtual.
Thank goodness. Hey. No, but I just want to reiterate some of the points that you made, and I think it's so important that as much as this business is about the support and everything, it is really looking into yourself and looking into what you're doing and evaluating, like, is this working? What am I doing differently this month than I did last month? And what's the difference in terms of my success, right? I think it's funny that one of the first team calls that I invited someone on to our team call, they asked me what my team needed to hear and what kind of my team dynamic was. And I started describing it. And I'm like, man, I'm describing myself. And I think that once you realize that the people you attract into this business are you, I mean, not you, but you know what I mean. It's very, very, it's like your mind is blown, because even though they have different life circumstances or whatever it is, there are certain binding traits that make up the team. But I just think it's so cool that that's very much a consistent theme across the board when you talk to successful coaches, when they recognize that. And you know what, it's awesome you mentioned that you are not the organization queen. I think that so many people get wrapped up in, I need a system, I need to be better at time management, and we all need that, but I'm the same way. I'm a messy, organized person, so I kind of know where everything is, but nothing is like color-coded and like Excel document, and I'm sure we could all get better, but I mean, like, everyone's style can work for them. And that's where people kind of get caught up with, like, oh, I'm not like this person, I don't have this, I don't have that. It's like, you got to make it work for you. And it's so cool that you, being as successful as you are, you're like, yeah, I'm not an organized person. So I just thought that was, I thought that was cool. But it's true. When you talk about points, they are people, and it is about the intention behind your conversation when you're having the conversation. That it's not about just selling it to someone. It's really about, is this the best thing for you? And, am I providing value that you are going to change your life with? So it's so cool that you pointed that out. And I just want to thank you for that. So we have a few questions. And then anyone else, if you have a question for Ms. Bonnie, just wave your hand, I'll unmute you. How big was your network when you started coaching? Your Facebook friends list?
My friends list? Oh my gosh. So I had just done that whole delete everybody that you never talk to.
Nice.
And I was kicking myself for it. I think I had maybe 200 friends
Wow.
because I had just got stationed in California with my husband, and we had like this whole talk about like starting fresh or whatever. So I deleted all those people. And then as soon as I signed up and found out it was social media driven, I was like, no.
Holy crap. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. So, it's funny, like you hitting that many Success Club points. You're obviously so consistent in what you do and the posts that you do and the value add. Where do you find most of your people? Like, how do you increase your network?
Actually, most of my people come from my business page on Facebook. And that is recent. So that is in the past couple months, and that took me a while to build up. I have been consistently posting over there for a year, and it's just starting to cold market get me people. Business. And when I started noticing the change was when I started posting over there like I posted on my personal page.
Mm-hmm.
So the key for me is sharing my story, sharing personal things, not sharing business things. So as soon as I started to do that on my business page, it was like light bulb. That's what these people needed to hear. They needed to see that I'm not a Beachbody robot. Like, I'm actually Bonnie.
You're not a robot? Are you sure? I saw that pose you did the other day, the yoga pose. I was like, man, she is Gumby. Like, that's awesome.
I saw somebody write down at the bottom that 200 is so many. Let me just tell you, those 200 people, like, I didn't know all of them, like, and they probably hated me. And actually, I'd be willing to say that they all hated me, except for like my very best friends. And none of my very best friends ever bought a challenge pack for me or anything. So even if you had just 40 friends, that's okay. That's probably what I had to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to reach out to one of our lovely ladies on the call. It's her first team call. Everyone, welcome Madison to the team.
Yay!
Hey, Madison! Yay! And there's a lot of new coaches on this call too, Bonnie. So I think that what you shared was so valuable for them. Does anyone have any other questions that they want to ask this fabulous woman before we let her go? Don't be shy. Come on, wave your hand. Ellie's going to do it. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. All right, Ellie, go ahead.
Hey, Bonnie. So I've been, and I'm a fairly new coach as well. I've been coaching for like a few months. And your personality is kind of like really out there, really peppy. You make like weird faces. And I do the same. Like the ladies here will tell you I have the same kind of personality. What I'm finding in real life, and I'm new to Beachbody, is that I get two types of people. People who like 100% are drawn to it and love it, or like seriously goddamn cannot fucking stand it at all.
That's a really good thing. I'll let you go ahead.
I was just basically wondering, like, I know my friends and my support network, when they heard that I was doing like a Beachbody, which is like obviously kind of, taking a picture a lot, they were all like, you're gonna do so good. So they were all like, this is what you've been waiting for. Go do that thing. But then I'm just thinking about the people I know that don't like my personality. In your business, how have you found like the haters to be? Do you get a lot of haters?
Girl, haters mean you are doing something right.
Oh, fully. I just want to know, like, how big of a like landslide am I in for of like angry, bitter, non-morning people who are overweight?
So I get a lot of haters every single day. And in the beginning, I really let it get me down. I was a newer coach just like you, and I had the same fears. I'm like, I really don't want that. Like, what am I in for? So I made the mistake in the beginning of focusing on those haters instead of the following that I was generating that was supportive. But I will tell you that it is good to have people that like you and people that don't like you, because it does a couple things for you. It defines your niche, which is really important in this business. You want to define that so specifically. And I know that it can be like, well, I don't want to eliminate all those people. You know, I don't want to have haters. I don't want to have people who don't want to follow me. But at the end of the day, you do, because then what happens is really cool. You start to attract only the people that are exactly like you. So the fact that you already have this kind of like, oh, some people like me and some people don't, is a really good sign. It means that you're specific. It means that you elicit some fears in people. It means that you make them think about themselves. So you should feel really proud of that, because I didn't have haters for a long time, but then they all came pouring in. So hold on to that. And I would say actually hone in on that personality, like showcase it more. Like don't ever think, well, I'm loud and obnoxious, so people don't, oh my God, there's a spider. See, there's a spider. Like don't ever think I don't want people to see that, or people might, you know, be turned off by that. You want that, because at the end of the day, that like even if they signed up with you, it would turn out to be a bad relationship. So you want to define that kind of before that. And how I deal with it is I take it as a compliment. Like, cool, you hate me? That means I'm doing something good. That means I'm making you think about yourself. That means it's good.
Awesome.
All right. Anyone else have questions for Bonnie? Just wave at me. Come on, someone else, be brave. Be brave. No? All right. This is what happens, Bonnie. I'm gonna call all you Canadians out right now, is that you guys are all quiet and scared to say something. So true.
I heard this thing once that someone told me early on, because I never asked questions on team calls, and they were like, well, it would be way better to ask them now to your own team call and have to talk for the first time. So it's really good to speak up, because you get used to seeing other faces while you're speaking and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm actually talking at corporate tomorrow, the same presentation that I just gave, and I wouldn't be able to do it with confidence if I didn't do it on Zoom calls. So
Are you so excited for tomorrow?
I am excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
It's good to be nervous. It's just, it's funny that the more things that you do that scare you, like everyone, I know the first time you post a challenge invite, the first time like you have a conversation, all that stuff is so incredibly scary. And then when you do it, you're like, man, I'm a rock star. Like I did it, right? And you have to embrace that, because that's what's going to give you the confidence that Bonnie was talking about. And that's what's just going to keep you going. We talked about that momentum train that's going. You got to hop on it and just go, because like once you start this whole movement, you are just this unstoppable force, and it's all about consistency. But I want to thank you so much, Bonnie, for coming on the call. It was so awesome to have you. We are going to do our traditional picture of everyone on the call, and we're going to do the Bonnie face. Everyone excited about that? Yeah, I'm so excited. So if you saw at the beginning of the call, Bonnie, we love you. We want to do a tribute to you. Everyone's got to do the type thing, okay? So everyone ready? 1, 2. I'm just going to take a whole bunch. Do the Bonnie face. All right. Awesome. That's awesome. I can't wait to post that. Thank you so much, Bonnie. Is there anything else you want to say?
I just want to say thanks for having me. And if you guys ever have any questions or want to reach out to me about anything I talked to tonight, my door is always open. So send me a message on Facebook, send me a friend request, whatever. I'm always here for help.
Awesome. I love it. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Good luck tomorrow, Bonnie.
Bye, guys. Thank you.